What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Firstly, I just want to apologise once again for the lack of uploading. As you might be able to tell from my voice at the moment, I've just been pretty sick the last week or so. So I've just been trying to work my way through that and just you know, deal with that. I even had to, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to play my game yesterday even though I wasn't feeling that great. It was planned that I did have kicking duties only yesterday, which I was fine with, but then not many of the guys ended up turning up. Well, not like, yeah, for about 5 or 6 guys didn't turn up, so we had about 16 or 17 again. So we had to play Ironman football, so I lined up as wide receiver. And cornerback again. There were a few things that happened on corner. Another thing I want to mention is that here in New Zealand, it's a very run dominant league, very run heavy. There was, you know, maybe less than 30% of the plays in the entire game are pass plays. And if they are, only, you know, maybe less than 5% of that 30% is deep pass plays. They're all sort of over the middle, short gains, you know, really just quick. So as a cornerback, I'm starting to find that quite tedious, whereas just every time, you know, you kind of have just like, oh, okay, most likely going to be a run play, I better just step in and, you know, try and get in the way or whatever. And then even as a wide receiver, you know, it's the same story. You're not really. I had one pass come my way the whole game yesterday, and I caught it for maybe no gain, maybe 1 or 2 yards. But it's just, I want to play in a pass dominant league. Let's put it that way. For me, I have a really big appreciation for the running game, but I mean, I don't know, for me it's more, the passing is more exciting. I like seeing passes. I suppose that's just me as a, you know, as a hopeful, a wannabe safety slash cornerback would like it to be. I mean, I'm sure most free safeties, strong safeties probably like a good, you know, tackle and good hit up, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just the way I see it as a very new beginner into the game. So still haven't lined up as safety in a game, which is kind of disappointing, but you know, I'm there to serve the team.
Come on, Brownie! Woo! Blitz! Well done.
And then plus I had all punting duties. Unfortunately we got smashed again. This time it was 37-0. So yeah, it's been pretty tough the last two games. Especially I've only had one crack at a field goal, which is pretty disappointing. I was definitely hoping for more than that, but I mean, who knows? I mean, for whatever reason, you know, I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, our running backs, you know, they're pretty good. But I don't know. I think it's just and our O-line is good as well. But I think it's just the cohesion. I think it's just the understanding, the knowing of, you know, the plays and the gaps that you're supposed to hit, and just, you know, that chemistry that you're supposed to have as a unit. But I mean, what were some of the highlights? Okay, the team that we played against, they were definitely a lot more, I don't want to say dirty, but they just they definitely played the game in a different way to the guys we played against last week. They were just a lot more, like I got a huge illegal block in the back. Like, I mean, I was literally just like sort of jogging down the side of the field following a play, and this guy just came up behind me and just completely blindsided me from the back of my shoulder, and I went flying and landed on my hip, and also like screwed my ankle as well. So it's just, yeah, and then he stood over me like he was, you know, thought he was pretty cool, but I just bounced straight back up and ran off because the play was still going. So I just kept my eye on kept my mind on the job. And what else? Oh yeah, and also you'll see in one of the later kicks that I did, punts, the guy who came in from the side to put pressure on me actually ended up landing on my planting foot, or on my ankle. And then just as he landed on me, I sort of like pulled my foot away, but he still definitely landed on me, and the refs didn't call any roughing the kicker or anything like that. You know, I was pretty mad, to be honest, after that, because I mean, a couple of inches, maybe even an inch, you know, towards me on this side, he probably would have broken my leg. So that really got me worked up. But I mean, apart from that, you know, I still had a lot of fun. Still had a lot of fun. Well, it wasn't as enjoyable as the first game. I caught one pass.
And so I'm gonna go get back to the playground, okay?
I also I managed to get a 60-yard rollout punt. I mean, it was kind of a rollout punt. What happened was the ball got snapped. I'll show it to you after this. The ball got snapped, and then the guy who was protecting me, sort of standing off to the left of me, he was like yelling at the refs, like pointing at something. So I thought the play was dead, because I thought that he kind of did it just as the ball was snapped. So I was completely put off, and then I got the ball and I was kind of just standing there, and then these two guys were still coming in to, you know, put pressure on the punt. So I was like, oh man, what do I do? You know, so I just quickly turned to the side, and then, because I didn't have room in front of me to kick the ball front like that, so I turned to the side and just whacked it with my right foot and I kicked it from my 20-yard line, and you'll see it a moment in the highlights that it landed just past their 20-yard line. So it would have been, I don't know, 61, 62-yard rollout punt. So that was probably my highlight of the day. But yeah, actually, to be honest, the rest of my kicks weren't that great at all. My punts, they didn't go very far. I just found that this team, they put a lot of pressure on me, which I found a good test. You know, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to, you know, try and get better and improve in that situation, that tough situation where you have that pressure. You know, these huge linebackers and other guys, safeties, you know, rushing you.
This side, this side.
But yeah, what else? So, I mean, the Iron Man football thing, you know, where both offense and defense is the same team, essentially the same group of guys. You know, for you guys in America or Canada or whatever, has there been a similar story in like college football where, you know, there was only one like group of guys who had to play special teams, defense and offense? Is there any story like that or anything like that? Because I mean, with you, like, you know, Kurt Warner's Cinderella Super Bowl story amongst a few other, you know, crazy things that you could just never even dream of, you know, making up. You know, I think that'd be a pretty cool story. Like, has there ever been like an Iron Man American football story? Let me know. So you'll see a guy come and block me in this play. It was a running play, and I was lining up as cornerback. And the same kind of thing happened in the first game. In the first game, if you guys can remember, I mentioned that their running back did an outside zone run up the sideline, lowered his pads and tried to come straight, meet me like head on, and he went quite low to drive through, you know, with his legs. And what I did was I stood my ground and let him hit just my chest and shoulder like that, but I kind of came down on him, but also kind of stepped back at the same time. And I don't think he was realizing that. So as he came in and I kind of like absorbed most of the hit, he just dropped straight to the ground. Now, if you'll see in this following play, they had a lineman who, I think it was their left tackle, who came out on a sweep. He basically targeted me right from the get-go. He ran around and he tried to get me, and I think more or less the same thing happened. He tried to come in for the huge block like that, just to absolutely obliterate me. But I saw him coming, I saw him lining me up, and I kind of just like, I went to just stand my ground and dropped my shoulder slightly, but also took a step back at the same time. And the same thing happened, the exact same thing happened. He hit me and then just dropped straight to the ground, just goes bang, like that. So I don't know if I've figured out like some sort of, you know, efficient way to deal with, you know, a direct hit or potentially being blocked. But it seems as though it's worked for me twice now. But I mean, I suppose it'll only, let's just put it this way, if that running back, if he carried on and kept running and probably got a touchdown, because I think I was the last line of defense there, I would have looked like an idiot, you know, like, oh, this guy doesn't even want to, you know, get involved in the contact. But I mean, it's worked twice for me now. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys will see it for the first time in this play now.
Go, keep going!
Close a bit.
He's an absolute unit. He's a monster. He was probably like 6'4", and I don't know, maybe 120 kgs, and maybe more. And if I'm just going to try and be the man and stand there and take the hit, I'll probably just get cleaned out. I'll probably be sitting on, you know, my backside, looking up at him going, you know, okay, wow, that made me feel like a little boy. But instead, he was lying face first on the ground, and I was left still in the play, ready to go, ready to make the tackle if they came my way. So let me know, I mean, what do you think, guys? I mean, is it, do you think it's something that I should keep doing, or do you think, like, what are your tips in like for trying to take the impact on, because in my mind, the #1 goal is to stay in the play, because if I'm taken out by a blocker, I'm useless. They're long gone, you know. I could pop back up and try and recover, but, you know, why not try and keep yourself in the play for as long as you can by avoiding blocks, by, you know, trying to absorb impact, and, you know, taking a step back, letting them get, you know, just go flying past you. Not the person with the ball, but like a blocker. So I don't know, with that, with the running back one, I don't know, maybe it's a different story if it's a ball carrier or a blocker. With a ball carrier, I think you probably want to do like a secure tackle just to at least bring them down. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think. And what else? I don't think there's too much else to report. We've got a bye this week, so you guys won't see another video on game highlights for another 2 weeks or so. We've got the Wildcats in a couple of Saturdays. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, please hit the... Oh, yeah, sorry. Also, just so you guys know, I was number 34 in this video. I'm sure you'll figure that out anyway. But, yeah, I don't know, I might include some, because my dad couldn't make it this time, so it was my wife who was doing the videoing, and I forgot to include a memory card in my vlog camera, which is what the last one was filmed on, so she had to use her professional, because she's a professional photographer, she had to use her huge zoom lens during this game, and it's manual focus, so she was like manually focusing the whole game. So, and she said by the end of it, her arms from like holding up that whole thing for like, you know, a couple of hours was pretty tiring, and it gets a little, and also there's no image stabilization on it either. So I mean, we're just doing the best that we can. I just need to still sort of figure it out, you know, get a proper, you know, setup. There is, you'll see in the background, there's a building with a balcony up the top, but unfortunately there's a wedding being filmed yesterday up there. So what I want to do though is get a tripod and put this camera on the tripod, and then have someone film it from up there, and you can get right on the 50-yard line as well, which I think would be pretty awesome view. It would almost be like televised camera view. So hopefully that will work out. My team captain's already asking me for some of the footage as well, I'm guessing just to review some film. So I think getting up there would make that much better as well. But yeah, so there you have it, guys. If you want to keep supporting my channel, please hit the like button, comment down below, get involved. You know, I love every one of you guys. I love all your comments and reading them. And you know, if I don't reply to it, I may have just, you know, just fell through the cracks. But I try to read everyone and reply to every single one. Obviously there will come a time where there's just going to be too many to get to. I don't know when that will be, but I've been trying to do my best up until this point. So yeah, and if you want to carry on supporting my journey, guys, into American football and my first season, my first full season, then please subscribe, and we'll see where it goes from here. and I've been loving every minute of it. So I'll see you in the next one. See you later.